Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to my channel. My name's Cassie. I talk about video games, do video game reviews, unboxings, all sorts of stuff. But today I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated games for 2023. We still have the last half of 2023 remaining, and there's still a lot of games to come out. This year's been crazy busy with games, which we haven't really had this for a while. I think since maybe like 2018, I think was the last year that we had like a big abundance of games that it was hard to keep up with everything really, because they're all, for the most part, real quality games so far this year. And what's to come, as far as we're aware, they're going to be very good games too. So I don't really, there are some that are kind of questionable, but we'll see. I have a mixture of genres that I like. I'm not really a picky person when it comes to games. I think the least played games that I don't really go after. It doesn't mean that I won't enjoy them if I play them, but I don't play a lot of fighting games, and I don't play a lot of Dynasty Warrior type games. Sports games I don't really play a lot of, but I have enjoyed some in the past, so it really just depends. Anyway, I'll get on to that with another video at some point, I'm sure. So I'm not really limited, and I do like indies, and I also like AAA, and I think it's good to have a variety of genres to be interested in, because there are a lot of really good quality games out there that a lot of people don't really know about. So be sure to kind of broaden your horizons, I guess. If you're not really that picky of a person, try out some other games that maybe you would not have tried before. You might be surprised. So these are kind of in order of release a little bit. There are some that still don't really have an official release date. That's kind of, it's getting to that point where, is it going to come out this year or is it not? But we'll see. But the first game that's coming out that I'm excited for is Sea of Stars. That comes out at the end of this month, and it's like a JRPG, kind of Chrono Trigger, maybe Octopath a little bit, but very vibrant colors, and it's kind of sprite-ish, but it's also more refined, I guess, in a way. I don't really know too much about the story of it or anything, but from what I've seen, the videos look really nice. And I really liked Octopath. I only played the first game. I haven't played the second one yet. So I'm looking to dive into this. I'll be honest, I have not played a lot of older JRPGs. I kind of started off in the 3D era. So Final Fantasy X and games like that, Tales of Symphonia, and then whatever else. Those are the games that I really kind of started with. I didn't really play a lot of PS1. I was more of a 64 person back in the day, because as kids we were more limited because we couldn't just go out and buy our own systems. We had to beg our parents for them. So that's how that happened. But yeah, Sea of Stars looks awesome. It's going to be a day one on PlayStation Plus Extra and also on Game Pass. So there's not really any reason, if you have those subscription services, to not check them out if you're into JRPGs. It looks amazing, and the pre-reviews on it are pretty good so far. So we'll see how that is. The next game that I'm excited for, that's also supposed to come out at the end of this month, I don't know if I'll get to it right away, but I do eventually want to play it, is Under the Waves. This is a deep sea exploration game. It's being published by Quantic Dream. Quantic Dream did Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human, which are fantastic games, Fahrenheit or Indigo Prophecy as well. They're choice-based games, but this one looks quite a bit different from the typical Quantic Dream. Their visuals are always fantastic. And their stories are always great. So we'll see how it plays because I'm not really too sure what it is. It's just slap on Quantic Dream on the label and then, I'm in for it. But it's also, it looked interesting from what I saw, but I didn't see like too much of it. But I'm definitely going to check it out. And then, of course, probably the biggest game of this year, especially for Xbox. I play all consoles, even PC, so I don't limit myself, and they all have their pros and cons, so I don't hate on anything. Starfield is the next big game, and I'm a very big fan of Fallout. I do like Elder Scrolls as well, quite a bit, but Fallout's my jam, for sure. And I don't know if I don't want to go in expecting like Fallout in space, because kind of did that with Outer Worlds, and while that's a great game, it's not really like Fallout in space. It's a little bit different, but still a great game, and check that out if you haven't. But Starfield, it's supposed to be very expansive, but at the same time, I think that a lot of those planets are going to be, from what they've said, are going to be just for resources. They're not necessarily going to have life or like cities or stuff on like every single planet. That's going to be more limited. So I'm going in kind of open-minded, not really setting my expectations high, but I do like Bethesda games. Yes, they are glitchy when they come out, but it's never been anything that's been game-breaking for me, whereas I've had bigger issues with companies that are as big as Bethesda releasing games, buggy, that really irritated me, whereas the Bethesda game bugs are usually kind of silly and haven't really ever made me frustrated. So that being said, Starfield just looks like a really cool game. I know that there's like lots of different options out there as far as customizing your character and your character's background. Like you can choose to have the background where you can actually go back to your parents and visit your parents on a planet, and that's just weird, but I don't know, it just seems like it's really cool. And I'm not going to go in at first. I was thinking, maybe this is what we wanted of No Man's Sky when that got announced, but I'm not going to go in thinking that, because I feel like that will set me up for disappointment. So I don't know what to expect, to be quite honest. The Starfield showcase that they had at Summer Game Fest was actually really, really good. I liked what they had to show. I did pre-order the collector's edition with the watch. I probably didn't need to spend that money on that, but every Bethesda game since Skyrim, every Bethesda game studio game, so the ones that have actually been made by them, like Fallout 4 and Skyrim, I have bought the collectors for. So I'm kind of keeping that trend. It's always Naughty Dog and Bethesda that I definitely always go after the collectors for. So I'm excited, and I'm going to be at PAX at the end of this month, so as soon as I come back, that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm gonna definitely need to go check out the pre-download, because I think it's supposed to be like 120 gigabytes or more, so that's gonna be pretty crazy. And then the next game that comes out, I think at the end of next month as well, is Mineko's Night Market. This is an indie title where you're kind of like dungeon crawling, and then you own this little store, and everything that you find in the dungeons you use in the store. I'm not really sure how to explain it, because it's been so long since I've seen a trailer for it, but it just seems so awesome. Another game that's kind of similar to that is Moonlighter, but this seems to be a little bit more than what we had with Moonlighter. So I'm pretty excited for that. Another thing also, Dave the Diver is kind of a similar thing, but you like run a sushi restaurant, and then I don't know. I've not played Dave the Diver because I need to upgrade. I need to get a new computer first before I do anything on PC. Ugh, but the more I hear about that game, the more I want to play it, and it just sounds crazy to me. And then the game after that, we get into October, and then it just goes nuts from there. We've got Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, I've been playing Assassin's Creed since the first game came out, actually before it released, because I remember going into a Game Crazy, which used to be the Hollywood Liquors stores that are all around. It used to be Hollywood Video, and then Game Crazy would be right next door to it. And they had like a demo that you could play, and that was the first time I touched Assassin's Creed, and I fell in love with it. I was like, this is so cool. And while the first game has not aged well, for its time, it was really, really cool and really different, I think, than like what other games had. So I was really into it, and I liked the story of that one. Of course, probably anyone who's never played it before going back to it would not be something I would suggest. Maybe like start off with 2, because 2's like the best game still in the series, I think. But I miss what Assassin's Creed used to be. They've kind of gone off to the RPG ways of making their games, and while they're still good games, they just don't feel like Assassin's Creed really anymore. And I'm kind of miss the more linear games where you're actually just, you know, climbing buildings, and you know, they don't even have the animus, really is not even a part of the games anymore at all. It just doesn't feel Assassin's Creed. So Mirage is going back to what it used to be, and I'm super, super excited for that. That's actually my most anticipated game of this year, above all else, which seems a little crazy because a lot of people are like, Assassin's Creed, they come out with so many games, but I miss what they used to be, and I crave it, so I'm excited. And then, of course, Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man, the first game was great. Miles Morales, I think in ways I enjoyed more, in some aspects. But Spider-Man 2 looks like it's going to be amazing, and I really hope it lives up. I'm excited for Wolverine 2 whenever that'll come out, because Insomniac is also making Wolverine, so that'll be cool. And then we've got Just Dance, which is by Don't Nod. They are the creators of Life is Strange, but this is a completely different game. It's not really like a narrative game. I guess maybe it is, but you've got a character that's just climbing, and it sounds boring, but look up a trailer if you haven't. It looks really cool. And then there's also Cocoon supposed to come out sometime this year. That's also by a previous Playdead employee, I think, which they made, Playdead made Inside and Limbo, so that should be cool. But it doesn't look like it plays like that at all either. It looks quite different and maybe a little more challenging. Although I will say, like, Limbo was pretty challenging and got really frustrating at points, but it plays quite a bit different. So we'll see how that is. There's also some other games that I don't know if they're coming out this year or not. And then we've also got Baldur's Gate 3 is supposed to release around the same time as Starfield for PlayStation 5. Of course, right now I don't have a good enough PC to play Baldur's Gate 3, so either I wait until I get a new PC or I play it on PS5. From what I'm hearing, the UI actually changes, the user interface actually changes when you switch to controller, so it's supposed to be better than what it seems. But I still almost feel like that type of game I would prefer to play with a keyboard and mouse. So I may wait just a little bit before like I see like reviews for the PlayStation 5 version of it. But like, it sounds incredible. It's getting like so many great reviews. I'm not even a Dungeons and Dragons person. I've never like played. I've never really necessarily been into it. I've got a lot of friends that are into it. But it sounds really cool. And it looks incredibly different. Like there's so many different like outcomes and different ways to play that I feel like nobody has the same experience with it, and it just sounds really cool. This one actually got delayed by Devolver, but the Plucky Squire looks amazing too. The jumps from like a 2D to a 3D in just like a split second, and it's just really cool animations that I don't think we've seen in any other games. Devolver tends to release really fantastic games, but they did have a showcase that showed all their delayed games, which was pretty much everything that they announced. There's also Henry Halfhead, which looks really strange, but it also looks really fun. You have this like little head that goes around and kind of transforms into objects, and you move around, and it's like a puzzle platformer game. It's really hard to explain. You have to look at it, but it looks really strange. And then there's also Baby Steps, which I think was Devolver as well. It's where this man who's like in his 30s and lives in his like parents' basement or whatever, I don't know, is just like watching TV, and then all of a sudden I don't know what happens. He gets like kicked out into the world, and he has to like get back home, but his legs don't work very well, so you're controlling each leg individually and trying to get him through the place. And it sounds crazy and it looks so stupid, but like it looks really fun. But yeah, those are my most anticipated games of 2023, and some being delayed, not really sure. So what's everybody else looking forward to? And also, what's everybody playing? Right now I am playing Pikmin 4, which is great. Final Fantasy 16, I'm almost done. Hopefully, I need to finish it before PAX. And then also Tunic. Tunic's great. So if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.